Today we're doing valve covers on this 2005 E320. First, we need to take off the air box and the air nozzles. Before we take the coil packs off, you want to label them with the paint marker. This would be 4, 5, and 6. It goes, first off, firing order goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to use this paint marker and label 4, 5, and 6 on the coil packs. You also want to label what tube was on top. So I just put a paint mark for each of the top ones. Next, we need to take this fuel line off from here. So we'll take that off with a 17mm wrench. And be prepared for some fuel to come out. Now that the fuel line is off, we need to take this tube off and this tube off. To make it easier to take it off, I'm going to heat it up with a heat gun to make it a little softer so I don't break the tube for both of these. So heat it up a little bit and try and wiggle it off. Okay, so I've tried taking it out, but it's not gonna work. So after you heat it up, you can start taking out the valve cover, and then once the valve cover is out, heat it up a little more and it should just slide out. Because if you try and do it that way, you're just gonna break it even more. There should be 9 bolts for this driver's side valve cover. We'll put them aside. And now it should come out. You just gotta be careful about these ones. So I'm gonna heat them up a little more and hopefully the valve cover comes out. So let's get it a little bit more loose. Okay, that's loose. Ready to come out. I'm gonna heat this up and hopefully pull it out. So there's the valve cover out. This hose broke, so I need to replace that. And this one also broke. Even with the heat, they're just so old and brittle after 250,000 miles. All the rubber is just gonna start crumbling. But anyway, the gasket stayed on here, so we need to peel it off. Get this out of the way. There's the gasket. There's one side, has a new gasket in. So I took it out, I cleaned it up a bit, I pressure washed it with some degreaser on it, and dried it as much as I could. So now I put the gasket on. This side takes a Mercedes part number, it's right here. 0221 is for the left side, the driver's side, and this one is for the passenger side. Got these directly from Mercedes because aftermarket's not too much of a price difference. So now, start putting everything back together, and I'm going to have to use these same original ones until I can get a replacement part for tomorrow. So now let's start putting the bolts back and the fuel line, and then the coil packs and the air filter, and then we'll do the other side tomorrow. Then once you get them all snugged up, make sure you torque them down to 10 Newton meters. now that I have all 9 bolts torqued down, I'm going to put this fuel line back in. Just hand thread it on first. And then snug it down with a 17mm wrench. You don't want to go too tight, but you want to make sure it's snug so there's no leaks. And we'll do one more. There, it's not leaking now. Going to leak. And now that those are done, we can put our coil packs back into these plugs. For the other side, I'm going to take out the plug from down here where it attaches to the spark plug. Now we have 6 in, we need to tighten it down with the T25 and make sure we don't mix these up, because then we'll have misfires. We don't want that. And now I'm going to put 5 and 4 back in and tighten them up. So here we go. Alright, now that these are tightened down, we can come over here and lug these back in. Alright, there it is. Now we'll put the air filter back and these air nozzles. So now we're going to do the passenger side. So first we need to loosen up these T25s, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to use this tool to take off the plugs from in here. Like that. Now when I take the plug out, the whole thing will come out. And we don't have to touch these like I did on that side. So once we do that, take off these plugs too, put them aside, and then heat this up and try and break the seal by moving it side to side. And if that doesn't work, you can't take it off from there, we have to take off all the bolts and then take it out as the valve cover comes out. This side is easier than that side because there's no fuel line we have to take out. And there's only one tube. That side has 2 tubes we have to take out. This side only has 1. So I'm going to take out these coils first and the spark plug plugs. We have the coils out. You want to be very careful with these because once you get over a certain mileage, these all become very brittle. And as you can see, these are all about to break. See, it just broke. And this one I broke when I took it off, but it'll still work because this portion is still intact. You might just need to zip tie it to be sure, but we'll see when we put everything back together. So now that that's out, we need to heat this up and break the seal with something like this, and we will go like that just to break the seal, and then heat it up a little bit more and take out all the bolts, and then the valve cover should come out. This side is much easier than that side, plus you have a little bit more space than over there. Now that I've broken the seal, we can take the remaining bolts out. I have one up here and 3 down there, and then ready to take the valve cover out and move it that way, and that should come loose. But if not, we have to heat it up a little more, and then it will just pop out because it is moving and it didn't break like that side. So this side looks promising. So now I have the rest of the bolts out. I'm gonna heat this up a little more and then pull the valve cover out and see if it pops out. Maybe we'll get lucky with this one. Nope, looks like it needs some more help. So I got it out just by going like that and giving it a little tug going that way. And as you can see, it's still intact and there's no cracks. So we'll be able to reuse this one. So now, we need to remove the valve cover. Here it is. And put this here for now. Take off the gasket. There you go. Now, we'll clean the mating surface just with a clean rag. And I'm gonna go power wash this to make it look cleaner. Now, we're going to put the new gasket on. For the right side, passenger side, we'll use this part number, 0321. Driver side is 0221. Just lay it out, make sure it all lines up. There it is. And now you can use something like a small paint roller just to make it sit in properly. So when you lift it, when you flip it over, it won't fall before you get it all mounted properly. So let me go find one and then I'll show you what I mean. Now that we have the gasket on, we can go ahead and put it back on to the actual car. There we go, it's on. So now, what we need to do is bolt down or at least hand tighten the 9 bolts that we took out, the E10s. And then after the E10s are in, just hand tight, we can put this hose back on. I'm gonna put a little bit of some lubricant in here and then put it onto this nipple right here. Once that's done, then we torque it down and put the coil packs and the sensors for the coil packs, then the air box and these air nozzles, and that's it. Then we run it and make sure there's no leaks. Just want to make these hand tight for now. Those are all hand tight. I did the bottoms already. Now I'm going to lubricate the inside of this hose, stick it on here, and then once we're done with that, we need to torque these 9 bolts down to 10 Newton meters, and then we'll go from there. Once we have it lubricated, we can go ahead and put this on. There we go. When you lubricate it, it should go on nice and easy, just like this. Looking good. Now, I'm going to torque these down to 10 Newton meters. So now I have put these coil packs back, torqued these down to 10 Newton meters each, and I've put the coil packs back onto the spark plug from down here, tugged on them a little bit, making sure they're not coming out or they're loose. I zip tied these to make sure they don't move around while driving and all that, so it doesn't come out. So now just need to put the air filter box on and run it and check for leaks. And that's how you do valve covers on a 2005 E320 211 chassis.